All right, folks, let's talk about three words that instantly spark recognition: the apprentice, the towers, the White House. These are the hallmarks tied to a name that's been stirring up America for decades: Donald J. Trump. This man was once the king of real estate, with billions of dollars to his name, living large in skyscrapers branded with his own initials and shining bright as a true TV star. But here's the kicker: it was when he left the boardroom for the wild, unpredictable world of politics that he reached a level of influence like never before. A president who didn't climb the ladder through Congress but built his own empire on ambition and, yes, plenty of controversy. Now, behind all that glitz and glamour, there's a story not everyone knows. Picture a young boy, a bit rebellious, sent off to military school by his father to straighten him out, growing up with a wealthy but stern dad. Trump wasn't just chasing success, he was driven to outshine the very man who raised him. And even now, when former allies like Elon Musk start publicly clashing with him, Trump's name only grows bigger, tougher, more unpredictable. So, what was it that took a sensitive kid from way back when and fueled his dream to stand at the very top of the world? That's the question that keeps us all watching. Folks, let's dive into a story about a man who became the President of the United States, running the country while holding billions of dollars in real estate. But here's something you might not know as a kid. Donald Trump was seen by his own father as too soft to take over the family empire. So how does a boy, pushed out of the family's warm embrace, end up with the ambition to become the most powerful person on the planet? Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, at Jamaica Hospital in Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children to Fred Trump and Mary Ann McLeod Trump, raised in a family with a solid financial foundation. His father was a wealthy real estate developer, focusing on affordable housing for middle-class neighborhoods. His mother, an immigrant from Scotland, was a homemaker who devoted most of her time to raising their large family. Trump grew up in a mansion in Jamaica Estates, an upscale neighborhood in Queens. Money was never an issue, but his childhood was far from easygoing. Fred Trump was known for his strict discipline and sky-high expectations for his sons. From a young age, Donald was tagging along with his dad to collect rent, visiting construction sites, and learning the art of negotiation right at the family dinner table. But his stubborn, rebellious streak worried his family. After repeatedly getting into trouble at his local school in 1959 at just 13 years old, Trump was sent by his father to the New York Military Academy, a strict boarding school about an hour's drive from the city. There, he had to wake up at 5 in the morning, line up, learn to shoot, and follow orders from his superiors. It was at NYMA that Trump began to develop patience, discipline, and most importantly, a burning desire to compete. He played football and baseball and joined the military team not out of passion, but because he wanted to come out on top. He once shared a story about being punished to stand outside in the winter cold for arguing with a teacher. In that moment, he made a silent vow to himself, "I'll never let anyone push me down again." While other cadets dreamed of steady jobs after graduation, Trump's eyes were fixed on Manhattan, where skyscrapers stood as symbols of power and freedom. Deep inside that teenage boy, a different kind of ambition was taking shape, not just to live in wealth, but to leave a lasting mark. So, how does a kid from Queens make it to the elite world of Manhattan? That's the question that sets the stage for an incredible journey. Folks, let's step back into the story of a man who once owned an iconic tower right in the heart of Manhattan. But to get his name shining high above New York's skyline, Donald Trump had to face failure, crushing debt, and even the loss of trust from his own family. After graduating from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania in 1968, Trump joined his father's company. But he wasn't content just building middle-class homes. His sights were set on Manhattan, where real estate wasn't just valuable, it was a symbol of power. His first big move, the Grand Hyatt Hotel in 1976, was a bold gamble. Trump personally negotiated with a city in financial crisis, persuaded the Hyatt Corporation, and turned a rundown hotel into a sparkling new landmark. When it was finished in 1980, the name Trump was proudly displayed on a Manhattan building for the first time. But the 1990s brought trouble. Massive loans and a crashing real estate market pushed him into a financial tailspin. Trump faced $900 million in personal debt and nearly $9 billion in business debt. The press branded him a failure. Banks hounded him, and his reputation took a serious hit. In the midst of that storm, he refused to file for bankruptcy. Instead, Trump renegotiated with creditors, sold off some assets, held onto control of his company, and started rebuilding. There was no bailout from the market or the government, just sheer will, sharp negotiating skills, and a refusal to be knocked down. From that financial crisis, he pivoted to the media. In 2004, he became the face of the reality TV show, The Apprentice, taking the Trump name from the business world to living rooms across America. Slowly but surely, he became more than just a businessman. He turned into a brand, a cultural icon, and from the TV stage, he began testing the waters of politics. For many, the image of a man who'd hit rock bottom but clawed his way back was exactly what drew voters in. From debt to television, from an underestimated entrepreneur to a man talking about making America great again. Donald Trump opened a new chapter, a life of luxury, but one never far from controversy. When Trump Tower opened its doors in 1983, Donald Trump didn't just put his name on Manhattan's map, he turned it into a brand, with its gold-plated interiors, dazzling design, and prime location. The building quickly became a symbol of New York's elite. It also served as the headquarters of the Trump Organization, the business empire he's tightly controlled for decades. From the late 1980s to the mid-2010s, Trump's influence stretched worldwide. He owned dozens of buildings, golf courses, and resorts bearing his name across the United States, Europe, and the Middle East, before entering politics. His wealth was estimated at $4 to $4.5 billion, with most of it tied to high-end real estate and the value of his brand. In 2004, he stepped into the spotlight with the reality show, The Apprentice, drawing tens of millions of viewers each week. No longer just a businessman, Donald Trump became a household name, a cultural icon admired by some, debated by others. By 2016, he took on politics, outmaneuvering the political establishment to become the 45th President of the United States. Despite the controversies, his influence never waned. After winning the election in 2024, he returned to the White House in early 2025 as the 47th President. From real estate to television to the political stage, Donald Trump is one of the rare few who turned commercial fame into national power, making his name a global force. Throughout this journey, real estate has been his unshakable foundation, a platform for his personality, image, and legacy, built brick by brick, tower by tower, for Trump. Real estate isn't just a business, it's how he leaves his mark on the modern world. Every building bearing his name is more than property, it's a statement of his character and ambition. In Manhattan, he built Trump Tower, opened in 1983, standing 58 stories tall with its reflective black glass, gold-plated elevators, and a man-made waterfall cascading through the main lobby. It's not just the Trump Organization's headquarters, but also his home for decades. His private penthouse, sprawling over 1,100 square meters, is valued at roughly $100 million, embodying the lavish lifestyle of his peak years. In Palm Beach, Florida, Trump owns Mar-a-Lago, a 17-acre resort estate he bought in 1985 for just $10 million. Once owned by American aristocrats, it boasts over 120 rooms, a pool, tennis courts, and oceanfront views. Today, its market value is said to exceed $300 million. Mar-a-Lago is where Trump retreats not just to relax, but to host politicians, business leaders, and diplomats. Trump also owns or is tied to properties bearing his name in Chicago, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Dubai, the Philippines, Scotland, Ireland, and more than a dozen top-tier golf courses worldwide. Independent estimates peg the total value of his real estate portfolio at $2.5 to $3 billion, depending on market conditions and the worth of his brand licensing. A key part of his strategy is licensing his name. Even when he doesn't fully own a property, he allows developers to use the Trump brand to boost its commercial value, profiting from the prestige. For Trump, The name on a building's rooftop is often worth more than the building itself. Amid these lavish properties, there's one place without the Trump name that stands as the ultimate symbol of his power: the White House. During his first term from 2017 to 2021, and his second term starting in 2025, Trump approached the White House much like he did his real estate empire, not just as a residence or workplace, but as a hub of personalized power. Every press conference in the Rose Garden, every wave as he stepped off Marine One was carefully staged to project strength, control, and unpredictability. Inside, he left the White House's traditional decor largely untouched, but added subtle personal touches: electoral maps, family photos, and symbolic displays. Each detail reinforced his image as both a president and unmistakably Trump. For many past presidents, the White House was a political space. For Trump, it's a global stage, where every message can resonate if the camera angle is just right. If Trump Tower laid the foundation for his personal brand, the White House is where he transformed that brand into real power before America and the world. Whether at Trump Tower, Mar-a-Lago, or stepping out of the White House, Trump always knows how to stand out. And that starts with the vehicles he chooses: each car, each plane, a wordless declaration of power and personality. Trump doesn't collect supercars for speed, but every vehicle he steps out of on the ground, in the air, or under the White House spotlight has one thing in common: it's unmistakable. Since the 1990s, he's been tied to a classic Rolls-Royce Phantom cream leather, handcrafted wood dashboard, and a gold-plated DJT logo. It's not about horsepower, it's about presence, and he knows it. After becoming president in 2016 and continuing into his second term in 2025, Trump travels in one of the world's most advanced armored vehicles, the Beast. This nearly 9-ton limousine is bulletproof, resistant to chemical weapons, and equipped with a blood supply matching the president's type. Its soundproof interior has encrypted lines to the Pentagon. The Beast isn't just for travel, it's a mobile fortress, proclaiming, "America is here, and I'm leading it." In the air, Trump uses Air Force One, a customized Boeing 747 serving as a flying command center with offices, meeting rooms, private quarters, and a press area across both terms. He's used it to host world leaders, issue military directives, and project strength from over 30,000 feet. Even for short White House departures, he doesn't travel lightly. Marine One, a military helicopter, whisks him from the South Lawn amid the roar of engines and flashing cameras. He steps aboard in a Navy suit, coat open, red tie striking a moment that makes the world pause and watch. And between these official transports, there's Trump Force One, his personal Boeing 757, repainted and reused for the 2024 campaign, with gold-plated interiors, Italian leather seats, and Trump emblazoned along the fuselage. It's not just a plane, it's an extension of his brand. Trump doesn't use vehicles to get around. He uses them to make an entrance, shape a message, and command attention. Every wheel, every aircraft door, every ramp is part of his political and media stage. But after stepping out of an armored limousine or a gold-plated cabin, he returns to everyday routines: eating, resting, thinking. These are the moments without cameras, yet they reveal the man behind the icon most clearly. He lives in gold-plated penthouses, flies on private jets, is guarded by Secret Service, and has signed orders that shaped a nation's course. But behind the layers of power, Donald Trump's daily life is simpler than many might guess. Trump doesn't drink alcohol, smoke, or touch coffee, a habit he's kept since youth. Partly after watching his brother die from addiction, he wakes early, often before 6 in the morning, reading print newspapers, reviewing security briefings, and calling trusted advisors. He avoids email, rarely texts, and prefers face-to-face talks or old-school phone calls. Breakfast is typically eggs, bacon, or a McMuffin at Mar-a-Lago. He sits at the same table, orders the same dish, and keeps a copy of the New York Post nearby. Lunch might be a KFC chicken order, no sauce. Dinner, often at private clubs, features a well-done steak, no sauce, paired with Diet Coke, always with a personal bottle of Heinz ketchup on hand. When it comes to spending, he's famously meticulous. From meeting costs to printing expenses, he demands detailed reports, even with billions in assets. Trump negotiates the smallest details not to pinch pennies. but because he believes small controls lead to big wins. His daily wardrobe is consistent navy suits, white shirts, red ties, and polished black dress shoes. No flashy accessories, no luxury watches, even at Mar-a-Lago. He sticks to his routine, never wearing shorts or sandals, always aligning with his crafted image. For many, power creates distance from normal life. For Trump, familiar routines, what he eats, wears, does, are how he maintains control in a chaotic world. Yet amid all this control, there's one thing he can't fully master: family, kinship, legacy. These lie beyond balance sheets but remain when power fades. Despite standing alone in the public eye, Donald Trump is not a solitary figure. His family, with its bonds, dynamics, and occasional tensions, is inseparable from his success story. Trump has 5 children, 3 marriages, and a family structured like a multi-generational media and finance conglomerate. His eldest, Donald Trump Jr., is a key ally in political campaigns and often represents his father in conservative media. Ivanka Trump, his daughter from his first wife, Ivana, served as a White House advisor, entrepreneur, and fashion icon, earning his unwavering trust. Eric Trump, quieter by nature, took the helm of the Trump Organization when his father entered politics. With his current wife, Melania Trump, a former model from Slovenia, their relationship is private but perfectly timed for public roles. At international events in France, Japan, or hosting world leaders at the White House, their appearances together project understated yet controlled diplomacy. Trump is guarded about family emotions. He rarely shows affection publicly, but insists that family is the foundation of the Trump brand. His children work in the company, appeared on his TV show, and join him at political events, integral to his operation. Beyond family, Trump engages in philanthropy, mostly through golf tournaments raising funds for veterans, police, and children's programs. Though the Trump Foundation was dissolved in 2018 amid legal disputes, he continues giving through private funds and community efforts quietly, in his own way. In a world where fame often separates personal life, Trump has made his family part of his brand, a link in his journey from business to television to politics. But behind the family dinners and carefully posed photos, there are cracks, controversies, criticisms, lawsuits, and strained relationships once thought unbreakable. Great glory comes with a price, and it's never been small. Folks, let's talk about a man who stood before the American flag twice, taking the oath of office amid cheers, flashing lights, and the hopes of tens of millions. But then, a single post from Elon Musk sparked an unexpected clash, dividing even those who once stood side by side. When did the man who challenged the system find himself called a roadblock to the future by one of America's boldest innovators? If his towering skyscrapers symbolize success, politics has been the ultimate test of his resilience. Donald Trump didn't enter the political arena as a seasoned lawmaker. He came in as an outsider, defying every rule and forcing America to rethink how it listens. In 2016, he was elected the 45th President of the United States. But his first term was a stormy one, impeached twice by the House of Representatives in 2019 and 2021, investigated over his campaign, and hit with relentless criticism from major media outlets, though never convicted. His image was often cast as adversarial, not just against the opposing party, but sometimes within his own administration. One of the biggest controversies came late in his first term, when the Trump Foundation was ordered to dissolve amid allegations of misused funds, though he denied the claims. The scandal gave critics fuel to attack him on every front, from personal ethics to the way he ran the Trump brand. After losing the 2020 election, many thought his political career was over, but Trump didn't step back. He rebuilt his influence through his Truth Social platform, held hundreds of rallies in key states, and reshaped his image not as a defeated figure, but as a fighter staging a comeback. During this time, an unexpected personal feud erupted with Elon Musk, someone Trump once